Broadcasting live from the Teddy Belanger studio in Rome, New York. It's the Avetts and Beyond. I'm Todd Emanuele, and welcome into episode 70, big round number. And we have a very special guest, two special guests this week, joining me again from their home studio. It's Tim Mossberger and his daughter, Hazel Mossberger. Tim and Hazy, thank you so much for coming on.
No problem. Happy to be here.
Hazy, I know you've been nervous. You're afraid I'm going to ask you all kinds of weird questions, but I have to start. I've been dying to know since the last time we talked. Are you still listening to Christmas music all the time?
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you still listening to that Frozen album? I remember you telling me you had a record that was Frozen, or was it others? Was it a mix of music?
Yeah.
So you're still listening to that one mostly?
Well, Sally really loves Frozen too, so that helps.
I like it.
Well, that definitely does help. So is Sally sleeping right now, I assume?
Yes.
Okay. So she can't chime in on what her favorite current song is. But Hazy, what's your favorite current song, Christmas or non-Christmas? What have you been listening to otherwise? I know you listen to a lot of music.
Winter Wonderland.
Winter Wonderland? Is it cold out there right now where you are?
No.
No. It's hot. But you're in a winter, so you stay cool because you're listening to cold Christmas music all the time. Yeah. Do you want me to play on this show? Do you want me to play a Christmas song for you when the show airs?
No, it's good.
No? Okay. We'll play some other stuff. I guess we can play other stuff. I was going to play you a Christmas song. I don't have to do that though. So, what else have you been up to? Have you been working on your art?
Yes.
A lot? Are you painting, drawing, a little bit of everything?
Yeah, I'm going to a camp.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Tell me about it. What kind of camp?
A yoga camp. So it's a yoga and art camp. It's a really fun week because it's like it's a treasure hunt week.
Oh, wow. So what do you get to do?
So we're making treasure boxes and stuff to go in our treasure boxes, like all types of coins. We're doing acorns, necklaces, bracelets.
Oh, wow.
Oh, and we even get to go on actual treasure hunts.
At the end, is that like the last thing you guys get to do?
No, we do that like every once in a while, like every time we get to. It's only for it's Monday through Friday.
The camp is, so you get to come home on the weekends. Are you staying there? You stay there the whole time, or is it just like a few hours?
She's only there 4 hours. Or 3 hours. She's only there 3 hours.
Well, that's a long time. That's fun. That sounds like a great time. So
yeah, and some other kids are there longer.
Oh, okay.
Until 3 o'clock p.m.
Until 3 p.m. That sounds like so much fun. What's your favorite thing that you've been drawing or painting lately?
Well, I drew this really cool vision thingy today, and I thought it was really cool.
Do you have it right there?
No.
No? Okay. That would be cool to see, but sounds very nice. You what?
You get it?
Yeah.
She can go get it.
Okay. Oh, cool. I'd like to see it. Now, is she doing like if people want to give her some money, is she doing like requests?
I don't know how much she'll do that.
Well, that was quick. Oh, that's cool. All right. So what is that? What does it say? I couldn't read what it says.
Oh, it says a lot of different stuff.
A lot of different stuff. That looks really cool. So was that today's project that you did?
Yes.
Nice. So if people want to send you money to do artwork for them, will you do it? Like if I say I'm going to send you $10, will you send me a painting? Will you do that? Or are you like, nope, I'm going to keep all my artwork private? Oh, you're thinking hard about this.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. He doesn't know. It's just put on the spot about it.
That's okay. That's okay. You don't have to.
It's like, are we on TVs?
It's okay.
Daddy, are we on TVs?
What?
It's okay.
You don't have to answer. That's okay. I was just curious, like if I wanted to send you money for a painting, if you would send one out, but you don't have to.
Okay.
So, are you looking forward to school coming back?
Kinda.
Kinda. Summer's kind of nice, right?
Yeah.
You get to sleep in
Yeah.
somewhat.
And I get to stay up late.
And get to stay up late, right? What grade are you going into?
3rd grade.
Wow. Do you know who your teacher is yet?
No.
I
No.
don't even know where she's going to school yet.
Oh,
We
really?
won't find out till a week before.
Yeah.
Where she's going to school?
It's the whole school
I
district drama.
Yeah, I hate school.
Oh,
hate
gee.
school district.
Yeah. It's okay.
If I could just stay one school for the rest of my life,
That would be cool.
the best thing about it would be the best.
That would make things so much
I
easier.
have to move. So for 2 years, I was in the same school. Then I have to move schools. Now I have to move schools again. And just like that, very happy. So kindergarten, 1st grade, I was in the same school. For
Yeah.
2nd grade, I was this time, and now I have to move again because it's turning into a 4-language school. I have to go somewhere, and I don't like it.
What a headache. That sounds like such a headache.
Yeah, now I don't know where I'm going either.
Well, hopefully you find out soon. Hopefully you have great teachers and your friends will be there and it'll be a good school year. You got some summer left though, so enjoy the rest of your summer.
Yeah.
What's your favorite Avett Brothers song right now? Off the new album.
You told me earlier it was.
Love of a Girl.
Love of a Girl. That's a good one. Look at my background. Can you see that?
That's the video.
That's from the video. Very cool. All right. Well, thank you, Hazy. I appreciate you coming on.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Have a good rest of your summer. And she's off. Just like that.
She
All
gets
right.
nervous when she's on the spot.
I put her on the spot with the question about the artwork. It's okay.
Yeah.
I
Sorry.
I did not send that. Or it was on my list of questions. I think it is. Well, anyway, doesn't matter. I appreciate you guys coming. I appreciate her doing that. I know that's not easy for her to come on and talk to a stranger.
It's not even that. If she was, if it's like, I don't know, if she doesn't feel put on the spot, she can just ramble on. But then if she starts thinking in her head, then she's
Yeah. All right. Well, Tim Mossberger, you are the Avett archivist, and you've had a busy summer. I'm sure everyone's had a busy summer. It's been crazy around here. My studio, the Teddy Belanger studio, survived a tornado. Here we are. Here we are, finally back on the air after a week off again. And I appreciate you coming on. So what's been going on? I know the latest issue of your Patreon page, Long Story Short, came out. You want to talk about that a little bit? Or what did you want to start? You can talk about whatever you want.
Yeah, no, that's fine. On that one, I'm really starting to go through their songwriting a lot. And I kind of went back to their earliest ones, the songs they wrote in 2000 and before. So kind of going through that and just, really I've been going through a lot of their interviews and a lot of their thinking about their process then compared to now and like the new album, because obviously back then,
I assume.
yeah, well, there's differences, but there's similar things still, because, like back then they wrote separately. They didn't work together hardly at all. Like someone brought a song, here's the song, let's record it, and where now they someone may bring a song, but they work together on it a lot more. Even if someone say it's 90% done and someone just adds a little bit, they work together a lot more compared to back then. And then in the studio, obviously now sometimes, if they wrote it, the other person can sing it too. Back then, if you wrote it, you sang it.
Right. I remember you saying that before. That was back in the day.
Yeah. So it's kind of, and then it's more of just, back then, obviously the songs, they were younger, more about the future and more about, the hopefulness. And like, it's interesting me going through and reading through the lyrics, a lot of, they mentioned like being free a lot, being, you're young and you're free and all this possibility ahead of you.
Mhm.
And, and then now, there's a lot more about death in the albums and the songs, a lot more, like that going on.
Well, the older you get, I guess you start thinking about
So,
more of that stuff.
yeah. And a lot more hopeful, a lot more relationship drama, obviously in the earlier songs, they were each writing about either the girlfriend at the time, past
Right.
girlfriend, and now they're married, kids. And, it's obviously bound to change dramatically. So,
Now, looking at like the new album, and Ryan Boyle's putting up your long story short page on our screen. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see that. Um, Looking at the new album, we've had this conversation. I don't know if you and I did, but I did with Ryan and someone else. Like, what do you think? Like, is the new album the story of their life? Do you think? Or I know you've had more times to listen to it now. What's your
yeah.
take on what the songs are about? Have you thought of that at all?
And yeah. Obviously, I think their songs are always about their life, but I don't think it encompasses. I do really think it's a reflection of the last, 5 years or so would be my guess, that it really is, that chunk of time, like, or 6 years, 2018 on, like, more spiritual than they were, although they had moments, obviously, through their time, spiritualness and things. But I think it's more evident in this album, and older, and their kids are getting older, and
Right.
they're, they don't spend as much time away from their family as they did, say, in 2007 when they played, when they play 160 shows, and now they play, 60.
Well,
So
right.
nowhere near in the realm of, of on the road as much compared to those days compared to now.
Well, I think
So
it's tougher as they get older. The kids get older. There's commitments and things there at home that they don't want to miss anymore.
yeah. So I just think it reflects all of that, of getting to be home more and realize things they missed.
Yeah.
And now they're home for them, and then now when they go away, they know what they're missing even more.
Yeah.
But I still think it's just them. I think the songs are, just reflect their life and where they're at this time, and it can change just as much as, to me, Closer Than Together was a moment in time and how they felt then. I don't think that there are people who they're stuck, whatever they wrote, they're not stuck for that forever. It's they're changing, they're evolving all the time. Their songwriting changes, their ideas change, how they work together changes, and how, they work differently, both of them, but then work together. So I just think that it's this moment in time, these last bunch of years, this album is that, and the next album could be completely different. It wouldn't
Right.
surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me if we get, we could get a live album, and then we could get a completely different project. They could go back to a rock band project, or What a Nightmare could come back.
Right.
Any of those things are possible with them. So
Now, is there talks? Have you heard anything about another live album? They record
I
all
haven't
the
heard much about it, but it's time. They seem to always, they release the live album to kind of showcase where they are at that time. This is, a document of, this is what they are doing live now. And I think it's time. So
I was
I'll
going to say, this would be the perfect time to put out another one,
but
but
we'll
that's
see.
not our decision.
Yeah.
They have to actually sit down and put it together. I think it's interesting. You mentioned, Scott and Seth are in a certain point of their life, but then you look at Joe in the band, where he is with the baby at home, and how hard you see his posts on Facebook and wherever, how hard it is for him to leave home. They're in such different places, even though they're, close in age. That's got to be a strange dynamic for everyone, and hard for Joe to hit the road, right?
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure. Sure it is. Just, like I said, it's probably just good that they're not on the road as often. At least it's just,
Right.
they go out for a couple weeks, home for a couple weeks,
Yeah,
they're
but
out
when the
for
baby's
like 14 straight weeks or something. That would be
true.
tremendously hard. I'm sure, and this is hard enough, I'm sure, on him.
Yeah, even when you're out for 2, 3
Yeah,
weeks, whatever, when you have a basically a newborn baby at home, you're gonna miss stuff.
yeah,
It happens so fast when they're babies.
yeah,
So I I I feel every time he posts one of those posts, it's like, oh man, that I know how he feels. I mean, I never left and went anywhere. I can't imagine going away, having to go away because
yeah.
it's your life, it's your work. You got to do it. But yeah, that it's got to be hard for him. But anyway, different stages, but they're still doing their thing out there. And going back to uh, your the new long story short, you talked about going back to 2000, the old music from like the year 2000 and before. Have you gotten more stuff? I know you have a lot of that old music, like on cassette tapes and stuff like that. Is any of that going to get released somewhere?
Oh no, it's not going to get released. I can't imagine. And then obviously that's before they were the Avett brothers.
Well, sure,
I
right.
don't know, I can't imagine them ever releasing any of that, like any of the kind of, just the songs they wrote. I mean, they talk about them sometimes, again, the songs they used to just mail to themselves, they would write when they first started writing acoustic songs, because they were still in the rock band at this time. So they
Right.
had those songs, but then they had, these set of acoustic songs they were writing, trying out different band names. So, and they were,
So we've talked about all this before. I are they embarrassed by the old stuff, do you think? Because the fans would
embarrassed.
absolutely
I don't
love to
know.
hear every one of them.
Well, I'm sure they would be embarrassed by the playing and the singing and certain lines. But my thing is, if you look at them, and I post the lyrics in the magazine,
Sure.
there are moments where you're like, wow, these, there'll be some lines that is them, and they're beautiful and heartbreaking, and they're everything that they have come to be now as a songwriter, you
Yeah.
know. And then there's a few cheesy moments, like you can see them really working themselves, working it out. Like they've come a long way. But to me, those songs and that you listen, even if you listen to the album that was released, the 6 songs that released, My Lady in the Mountain to me still holds up today. I mean, that song is a great song that Seth wrote.
It is.
So, uh, I don't think they're embarrassed by it as much as they've just moved so far past. Maybe they don't relate. They can't put themselves in that moment of, what that song meant as it did back then. So I just think they struggle with that. And then also so many songs, all the songs they have written since, all the songs they've written they haven't released, to remember even how to play it, they probably don't.
Yeah. Oh,
But I mean, a song like My Lady in the Mountain, written, obviously, Seth wrote about Jenny, his high school sweetheart. I go through the story of that in the magazine, of how she never knew it was even about her. For it took like a year and a half after of her playing it. She told me that she had no idea. She always thought Scott wrote the song, and that it was about, the girl he was dating. She had zero idea it was about her. She always thought that was funny that, one time she was like, Seth, that's about me? Really? How you just, she just didn't think it was about her at all.
That's really funny. So I mean, I get, they're so far past that. They have new music that they probably still want to put out. Why go back to something from 25 years ago or longer, whatever it's been? So I get that.
Yeah. But as fans, and I think as the artists, it's probably hard for them to see, but they are also music fans. And if it was an artist they loved, they would understand it. I think they would understand how the fans feel, that we love to look back and we can relate to how they felt when we were 20, because we were once 20. We once felt that way about a girl, or someone felt that way about a guy, or in love, about something. Like we felt that way. We can still relate to it and see ourselves that way. And we can still enjoy the songs, even though they, feel disconnected from them, or, don't care for them. I think, we as fans and we can see the journey of what they wrote like in 2000, 2003 till now, and appreciate it all.
Right. And
not that they don't appreciate it all, but it's their words and their voice and their playing, and they can feel differently when they hear something from a Carolina Jubilee, Country Was, they're going to nitpick it to death. Or our feelings toward it aren't about a flat note or being out of tune.
Not at all, right?
So,
yeah, that is funny. I want to hear all of it, but we never will, more than likely. So, new album, going back to the new album. I'm jumping all over the place here. why haven't they played Same Broken Bones yet? Have I asked you that?
No, you haven't.
Why haven't they played that live yet?
I feel like there's always a song that takes a little while for them to play live, whether because they just haven't practiced it,
But they
or
can do the
yeah,
humming never
yes, but
part. That's Same Broken
you
Bones.
know, and also I think maybe they just want to hold on to it so when they do play it, people are like, oh, they haven't played it, and then eventually, New Year's they have something. I just think they're holding on to it personally.
I know Ryan Boyles, my esteemed producer, says that they are waiting until his 100th show
So
to
that could
play it.
be.
So maybe that's it. Maybe that's their plan. They know Ryan's 100th show is coming up, and that's what they're saving it for. I mean, they have to play it at some point, right?
Yeah, it doesn't seem like there's only a handful of songs that they've. Well, I mean, you take the Third Gleam and It's Raining Today has never been
Yeah,
played off Push Them Together, but before that, there's only a few songs that they've never played.
right.
And so I mean, most likely you got to imagine that they play it. I mean, I blame the Third Gleam and Closer Than Together, but kind of on COVID and the loss of shows and that
Yeah,
momentum for those of why those songs, all of them, did not get played.
but
Um,
there's some of those songs on the Third Gleam that I
yeah,
can't believe they haven't
but
gotten
some of
played.
that comes down to set lists. I think of those are more ballad songs. So how many they're not going to play 10 ballads in a set.
Right.
They're only going to play their 3 to 5. So, and if you're taking, I Wish I Was, Murder, there's 2, you play, now they got all the newer albums a little slower.
It
I just
is.
think we're running out of room for slower songs.
Oh, but they got to get
And
some of those other ones in
so,
there.
but my thing is, I think they could play more, and the fans, I don't think would be bothered. But it's their set list. I don't know,
I,
for whatever reason, like things like I'm surprised, like Prison, to Heaven never been played, and then
right.
The Fire's never been played, even though that song's long. Maybe that's a timing thing. I
It
mean,
could
that's
be.
going to take up 7 minutes.
I should have spent the day
Uh,
with my family too. Is one that
yeah, that's never been played. So I think, like I said, I kind of blamed COVID originally on all those, just of the momentum of those and those being out there and then playing them. So, but
I guess
but but they have played most of the new album has been
they
played
played
except for one
8 of
song.
the 9 songs, everything but Same Broken Bones.
So
I
we'll
At
see.
the one show I went to, they played 7 of the 9 songs, but I
It's
know
like,
they played 8 during several of the shows.
it took a few years for them to play The Clearness Is Gone,
Hmm.
and that had to do with like just what was it? It wasn't like just an arrangement, and how they wanted to play it just never worked out. Like they couldn't get it how they wanted it, so it took a while for that to finally be played. So
How often have they even played that?
it's been played. That stuck around after they played it. That got played a good amount of times. I don't know. I don't know the number offhand, but it's certainly up there in the. I mean, it's got to be past 60, 70 plays. I'm
Oh,
sure. I
okay.
would imagine. So it's not super rare. Because it hung around in the encore for quite a while.
Yeah.
You know.
You think some of these songs that they haven't played, it is that they just haven't taken the time to go back and relearn them because they
Yeah.
may have forgotten how to play them?
Yeah, and they'd have, instead of especially when they release a new album, they're spending their sound check working out the new songs. What do they want to? How do those change from studio to live?
Right.
How do they feel like playing them? And they're going to have fun playing them. So then it's like, will they? I think will they have? They got to find an old song they will have fun playing and a reason to play it. I think
Yeah.
which is why usually it takes a request from a fan's 100th show.
Hey,
Uh, something like that. Because that's like the time, Seth obviously at Red Rocks played Souls Like the Wheels for the 3rd time solo.
solo, right?
And the second, the first time was obviously ended up on Magpie. And for that, they actually went through 50 or so songs to choose a song for Magpie, a live song that they wanted to put in there. Kind of how Neil Young every once in a while has a live song in the middle of his studio album. was their theory. And, they went through a bunch, and that's why they tried. And I think it was Scott's idea that he told Seth, play that song, and we'll see. And then obviously when they listened back to tapes, they chose that one. And then the second time it was played is because someone requested in Syracuse. And then this one, I haven't heard if someone
in
requested
Syracuse. That kills me. What year was it that they played?
2017.
That kills me that I live right near Syracuse. I grew up in Syracuse, and I wasn't listening to them then, so I had no idea that they were in town or.
And then in 2009, Syracuse is the show of the Pretty Girls where they play them all.
That was in Syracuse?
Yeah, it was.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Man, what a loser I am.
Well,
what bothers me?
Maybe
What's that?
No.
I need to go back in time. That's what I need to do. If I can figure that out. What really bothers me? All the people complaining about the set list still. Like, that really bugs me. Like, they play what they want to play because they enjoy playing. You just said it. They like playing some of the songs.
Here's my thing. I've been around a long time. It's hardly the first year. I mean, I can't tell you how upset people were in 2012 and 13 about the set list. And here's my thing and it's people mean well, and people, are hoping, especially say it's your like 8th show of the year.
Right.
I mean, you're just hoping for something different. And I get that. I don't blame them. I don't, because I think it's a natural feeling to be like, oh my gosh, hopefully they switched it up because maybe 2 shows before they did, and then like you get the set list that you got 3 weeks ago, kind of a similar one. So I get all of that, but it's nothing new. I mean, I think it happens every year, every so often. And then my thing is when you get some time away from it, like I'm currently going through every show in 2013, collecting every picture I can find, every information about the show, watching every video, going through every full show I have. And I remember people complaining about those set lists, and you listen to those shows now and those shows are great. There's, it doesn't matter how many times I hear, Head Full of Doubt. There's sometimes something new there. Sometimes I think you need some time to look at it, and then you're okay. You're like, oh, no, it was good. But in the moment, people, especially on the internet, people are going to vent their frustrations, like, oh, what they were hoping for. And then give it some time, and they're going to think back to that show and be like, oh, no, that was really good. This was fun. And they're not going to remember that, oh, they didn't get something really rare, And that's my thing. The database's purpose to me always was, bigger goal was for a chance for people to go back and look at their past shows and remember their times with their friends, remember who they met, remember the songs, remember, something funny that happened on stage, or something, like Seth breaking Joe's cello this year, we'll look back on.
He's still playing with a broken cello too.
Yeah. So, I mean, it'll be things like that is to me the purpose of what I do, hopefully for people, that they can go back and remember, the friendships they made and the good times they had. So,
and people love it. I love referencing the database and going in there and looking at the shows that I've been to, and I remember stuff from each song, who I was near, who I was talking to, whatever. It's just great. Now, speaking of the database, how do people find it? Because I'm still surprised. Like, I see in the Avett groups on Facebook that people are like, where can I find this and that? And they have no idea that it exists.
The internet's it's a crazy thing to try to find, even though you may be a fan, you may not just know about it,
Yeah, that just surprised
me.
I
mean, yeah. But I mean, my thing is, I think the best way of obviously fans telling other fans about it. I've just come to that like basically the best way is for other people everyone to spread the word about such a thing, and to, and then, because we have had, I think I can see usually how many people are sign up each day, and, there's new people all the time.
Do you get an influx after like Red Rocks and stuff like that?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I don't know how much, I don't remember offhand how many, but there's always, more people who find out about it, or I get a message about it, or, things like that. So it happens, but I mean, I think it's like any bands, who have a website dedicated to them that, it takes other fans really spreading the word,
Sure. We've tried. I mean, we we talk about it all
Well,
the time.
you do. I mean, there's a lot. Again, it is the case. But again, though, it's also some people want to have all that information more than others. Some people it's not as big a thing, and that's okay.
That's okay. Those people are weird. No, I'm just kidding. So if someone's listening right now, how can they just they want to find it? What do they do?
I mean, well, if you just typed in, no November Blue database in Google, it would come up, or you can just go to db.nov.blue, it would come up. But if you just go, if you just Googled like an Avett set list, I mean, any of those kind of things, it'd come up.
It'll come up.
Now, so would obviously Setlist FM, which takes their set list from me, just to tell you.
Do they really?
Yes. I mean, it's never up before me. And my thing is, and if you go through all of Setlist FM, you'll see lots of wrong set lists from ones I've corrected from back in the day, because I continually go through them to make sure I go through each year to make sure I still find a mistake, every once in a while.
Sure. Yeah.
And fix it, or I find it, or I get a show that I was missing, which I did recently. I got some 2010 shows that I needed to fill in from when they went overseas, and obviously they're not on that until someone sees, will transfer them over. Someone will copy them over. But
does anyone thank you?
Yes, lots of people thank me.
No, I mean like from setlist.fm.
I don't think so. That's okay.
They just steal your stuff.
That's all right.
I guess. I know lots of people thank you because
I
don't help what you do.
I get so many people help me. I mean, I couldn't do it without. It's not like, especially
I've seen your posts. Like, hey, who got a set list tonight that can share with me?
Sometimes I have people lined up, and then some people I don't, or sometimes people who want to. I understand people who help, and then like you're in the show, maybe you forget some songs, which is completely understandable. That's why I try to count on several people to help. And
you ever refer to like the couch
yeah, of course. I mean, that helps a ton. But I also know that takes up someone's time at the show to do. So
sure, but someone always seems to do
such a thing. But if they choose to do it, of course I use it. And I use that for any notes where if they say something that happened at the show, maybe banter or something funny happened, I always try to keep track of those things. So
that's awesome. So
when people post videos on YouTube, I check YouTube every day, and then for any latest videos, and then I post them. I link them up, and then people send me videos. So my morning is always spent with that. My morning is spent working on the database, making sure everything's up to date.
And then responding to people's private messages, asking you questions about stuff, right? Isn't that a big part of your day too?
Or I get
I always feel bad when I have to ask you a question.
Well, that's okay. I never feel, I just feel sometimes, like I get the oh, I'm sure Scott or Seth. Can you give him this message? And I'm just like, no, I am sorry. I do not. So I cannot. I have to send them somewhere else.
You're telling me you don't hang out with them anymore? So what upgrades are coming to the database? I know you've talked about it.
At some point it should be done. It's a lot of effort, especially, Paul has to, there's a lot to do there to work out all the kinks, obviously, of it all. But at some point it'll be updated. So we're just it looks better. It has a cleaner look. There's some more options on things, on how to look at things, and just a better, a much better view of it. It's just such a, when it is done, it'll, it's just such a good, it'll just blow the one we got out of the water, honestly, visually, on how you scroll through it and how you look at things. And there'll be some more community, like, fan things, we'll be on there, or we'll work on kind of create even a more sense of community. So
when it's all done, I'd love to have like you and Paul on together to talk about everything.
I'm sure. I mean, I will. I'm sure Paul will. I mean, Paul will be. We deserve so much credit. He will. So,
do you feel like you always get all the credit and Paul doesn't get any?
I do feel that, and it's not fair because and Paul will probably not. Whatever. But he deserves. I mean, he has such a great vision for it all. And it's said, I do, I have the ideas and have the things, but he knows the internet and putting it together. And obviously we had got help, we hired help with the new version, so, but Paul deserves so much credit. Paul is a great human being. He's a great person. He deserves an awful lot of credit.
Let's give Paul some credit, folks. He works hard on it too. All right. Well, we're running out of time here. Time goes so fast on this stuff. What have you been listening to lately? Any new music?
Now, I mean, man, I haven't listened to too much new stuff. I mean, I mostly I've been so busy listening to what time I have just listening to the Avett Brothers.
Yeah,
going through the stuff. Trying to think. I mean, nothing of like recently new. I mean, there's new stuff to me.
You know who I just discovered is the Red Clay Strays.
Yeah, I see them online. People talking to them, but I haven't listened.
They're so good. I'd never heard of them before. Vic Maida introduced me to them. I started listening. I'm like, wow, these guys are good, so good. So I'm gonna play a couple of their songs on the show.
I'll have to give them a listen. Yeah, I haven't listened to that. I haven't listened to the Sturgill Simpson. I haven't listened to anything really
that's
been out recently. I haven't listened to. So I see people talk about. I just haven't,
Sierra Farrell's new album. Have you listened to that?
Oh yeah, that I love. I mean, I love that album. I won't get into that she performed with what his name, Post Malone. I can't handle that. I haven't watched that.
Post Malone is from Syracuse, by the way. I don't know. I like Post.
No, not for me. But but her, yes, she is. That is a fantastic album.
It really is.
Albums. So that I listened to. I got. I don't know. Other than that, I mean, I still listen to a lot of old stuff. I mean, and all from all over the place. I'm a big Nancy Sinatra fan. Has played in our house a lot. My girls like to dance to "His Boots Are Made for Walking."
Nice.
I listen to,
May have to lead off the show with "These Boots Are Made for Walking" today. Do that for Hazy and Sally. Just trying to think. You have a very eclectic music taste. I've seen you listen to like
but my big main things are pretty popular people. I mean, my all time. I mean, Prince, James Brown, Avett Brothers. I mean, those things are and John Coltrane. Those are the big four of my life that because then everything else trails off from them. There's the funk of James Brown and various things. The jazz that I listen to. Stuff like that. So those would be the big four big people that I love.
Coltrane, love Coltrane. All right. Okay, so if people want to subscribe to your Patreon, how can they do that?
I mean, you can just go to Patreon and type in either Avett Brothers Archive, or you can type in just Avett Brothers and it would show up, or Long Story Short, it'll show up, and there's free trials, so you don't even have to pay anything. You can check it all out for free, and then if you want to stay, you can just $2 a month. And there's other options.
You can also pick the amount that you want.
Yeah, you can pick more, but I mean, for $2, you can get the digital magazine every month where there's videos, audio, pictures you've never seen, stories, everything. So
it's great stuff. I love it. And we appreciate everything you do for the Avett community, you and Paul. But people love you. They love what you do for us. And it's like not every band has something like this. It seems like they should, but they don't. And it's special. And we appreciate you guys a lot.
Yeah, we'll get Paul on here. That should be the new goal before the end of 2024.
All right. As long as the database is done, it's upgraded, we'll get you guys on. Well, we can get him on before that. It doesn't have to be like the criteria. Anytime he wants to come on, we'll get you guys on together. All right, Tim. Well, thank you so much. We're out of time. Do you want to pick any? Well, I've got some music I'm going to play. I think from your favorites, we'll pick a few songs.
All right. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
And, if you had anything else, throw it out there.
Yeah. No, I can't think of anything offhand.
Okay. Well, that's cool. Maybe we'll play some Coltrane, some Nancy Sinatra.
You can go ahead and play a Christmas song for Hazel. She would love that. She'll probably regret not saying yes. Tomorrow she'll wake up and be like, I should have said play a Christmas song.
So Winter Wonderland, should that be the one?
Yes, she loves that song.
Got it. Any specific artists singing?
I mean, her favorite is Brenda Lee, the Brenda Lee version. That's her favorite version.
There you go. That's what we're going to play then. It's Christmas in July on the Avetts and Beyond. So, Tim Mossberger, thank you so much. I appreciate you coming on. Thank you to Hazy as well. And I'm sure we'll see you down the road. Really appreciate it.
Anytime, Todd.